Hello future tech leaders, I am Sindhuja. Based on my own experience, I know that learning the right skills can shape our future. What if I say learning was as thrilled as the tech world itself? There we go. A cloud foundation, that's exactly what you will experience. From day one, you will be immersed in the interactive sessions and expert-led courses that covers most of the widely used technologies in the zone of data science to cloud computing, which brings more light to the life of a techie. I'm so excited to help you and unlock the true potential of a technology. Well, then why to wait? Let's see what it unfolds.
Let me go here and let me go through the event tree sounds. We have the event tree sounds here. Let us try to discuss on the event and then the event reason. Event is something, a set of action or the transaction that takes place in the employee central. Any action or any changes which is happening in the employee letter that is called as an action or a transaction. A transaction occurs when an employee or the manager or an admin make a changes to the employment or the possible information of an employee profile. Examples of a transaction can be a job transfer, location transfer, updating the home address, compensation. All these things. We can say this is a sort of transaction and keeping this transaction record. There is a use for keeping this transaction record. The purpose of keeping this transaction record is to keep the historical records for reporting and legal purpose. Suppose if we have the historical record, we can use those historical records for creating the report source to show the changes to an employee when the data time to time. If for any user time to time, whatever the changes in terms of the position or in terms of the job role, he has been there from last more than 2 to 3 years. He can also see how he has been grown and how the file, how the changes in his role has been carried to the help of the by seeing it in the profile. And any changes also is to the upper world process. Employee Central Provider System define event. The label of the events can be entered, but it is not possible to add the new event. This event is a concept where event is something which has been controlled and maintained by. If we want to go and see the list of event, from how we can go and see the list of event. We can go here into the pick the center. In the particular center, if I want to go to event, we can see event. And you can see these are the list of event values which we will showing here. We can see all these are the standard events. We can copy, we can change the label and everything we can do. But this is the something which is the standard one. And if we want to go and download the entire list from where we can able to go and download it. That is with the help of here we can take the generic object that is pre-placed values. into the dependency, keeping us know. Export. Once it has been exported, we have to go into monitor job. We can see here this has been executed today. Pick list value. Here we can able to download the status. Let me open the pick list value. I believe Just We actually is visible to both of you. Here, from here you can able to go and see all the values will be showing here. If you want to identify the list of all the events, you can go to the Picky Center. If you want to download it in the Excel or in the CSV file, we can go with the important exporter. This is something which we should know as a consultant. Now again going back into my Excel. After this, what AP has done? They introduced another feature that is going to say event reason, which is a feature which they have kept under the foundation. Foundational object for QA, and it is a customizable object where the customer or the partner consultant can go and create certain event reason as per the business requirement. Event reason are defined by the customer. They are used to define most specifically the reason why an event has taken place. There is an event here. Event is something like a set of action is being performed. It changes is happening in the employee data. Event and event reason is being simultaneously connected to each other. When an event is occurring, SAP want to specify what is the reason behind that event, that they have came up with the concept of event reason. For example, if a manager had been making a changes to the employee data, for example by increasing the salary or by changing the department information, the reason this change is normally happening, that event has been taken place in the employee's professional life and even could be promotion or the transfer to other department. That is something coming under the event. Event is a foundation object. Event reason are created and customizable by the customer or by the partner consultants or by the admins. Event reason must be connected to a hardcore event in the system. For that, for creating the event, what we need to do, we need to go to the manage of the plus structure. Again, when I go here, into manage of the praise structure, here we can go and see the event reasons, which is already been created. For that, suppose if I'm going with the termination, you can see lot of event reasons are there. If I'm taking something, the termination here you can see that this is being customized. In this particular instance, most importantly, the event reason, ID name, everything is, but we also have a mandatory field that is known as event. It also specifies when we are creating event reason. This event reason is hardcore connected with the event. And employee status also plays an important role when we are going and defining the event and event reason. There are sometimes the scenario in the support ticket used to come where the customer has performed some action and the event reason. It's showing correctly, but the employee status is not showing correctly. The reason is that whatever the event reason is being showing that we need to go and check the employee status is correctly configured for that event reason. Because event reason is coming finally. In the employee profile when you're going and checking in the history. For example, when I'm just going and taking an employee here. I'm going to go to the employee profiler job history. When I go to the employee profiler job history, whenever we are performing one action, a new record will be created. And after creating the record, in that new record we can see the event and event reason. Even an event reason, and we can see the status also. Suppose if we have done the termination and after the event is the termination and the event reason is maybe the termination as a voluntary, maybe the termination as others or something which we are already seeing here at the event reason. The termination. There are certain terminations. In that case also, if the employee status is we have kept as active, then after termination also it will show us active. It is always important when we are defining here, if it is a termination, then employee status should be taken as terminated. It should not be active. That may be the investigation and realization which we use to get when we get these issues in the support tickets. To keep this point in our mind while investigating. That is something about the event reason, how we are going and creating it or which is already being created. After the post implementation, also there are certain requirements where we need to go and create certain event reasons. These, what are the mandatory things? What are the following requirements? Customer will provide us even the translation and everything. Or they will say that refer to any old event reason and how that event reason is being created. Similarly, go and create the new event reason by doing to that particular event reason. That is something as a change request we will be getting. Further, I had to the event reason event and event reason. I have just created some table for our understanding where we have this event and the event. There are certain list of events that is data change, higher level of absence, pay rate change, termination transfer. For all the event, there is a reason behind it. These all reasons are the customizable one which can be created by the customer or by the partner consultant. And where that while creating it, that has to be mapped to that particular event which we have seen already here. That when we are creating an event, reason that event is all. It is connected with event. Now further what happened? We after the event and event reason what SAP has done. Whenever the any user is going for making some end user is going and making some changes. Suppose here going to the action job and comping for. And I'm just going into the job info. and I'm selecting the date here. Suppose I'm selecting some random date. I'm selecting. After here, when I'm making some changes under the job info measure. And while clicking on a system will not allow us to save a layer time, what was happening? There we have an option of event and event reason. We need to manually enter the event and event reason because those were mandatory. Finally, whatever the changes which we are making, we are giving the notification. We are notifying to the system that this is the changes which we have made by mentioning the event and event. To avoid it, what SAP has done from the provision SAP has an option that may share you that document as an option. We need to enable that option from the provisioning. I'm showing you a screenshot in the Word document. Now the Word document. It's a blurred image because I've taken a screenshot, but still you can see here, enable business role for event reason derivation. While enabling this option, what will happen? We are finally going and using the event design derivation by creating a business. Earlier, what was happening? Each and every time we need to enter these values manually because we need to notify to the system what is the event and what is the event reason. Now the action will be performed automatically with the help of the concept called business room. Earlier, this configuration is also maintained in the XML, but in the previous SAP release, they have deprecated that ERD XML from the provisioning. Now everything has been migrated into the front time and we are doing it in the business room with the help of a business room. We will be creating a business room where everything will be done automatically and it will be sent the notification to the system rather entering it manually. That is the concept which introduced after the event reason that is called as an event reason derivation. Event design derivation. It is a process that can be set the system to correct any events, event reasons or even in that case of the wallet flow also. These two are different features. The flow is a different feature. Event reason is a different feature. Now when we go into the business room concept also, we should not write both. The system will not allow. The rule will not allow to write both the conditions for the event reason and the workflow in the single rule, and it is not recommended by SAP because both are different features. The condition has to be returned separately for both the features. That is for the event reason and for the workflow. As of now, even for some customers, they were also maintaining the workflow derivation X, M, L, all the configurations for the workflow. They were maintaining it from the provision. Now, slowly they are also getting migrated into the front end and they are using the workflow with the help of a business room concept. Any questions here? No, they go. This is something where we used to get the requirement where certain, if you are into implementation project or if the implementation is already being done, then there will be some requirements where they are making some changes in the data and the event and event reason has not getting too good. To analyze it, we should know how this rule is being configured because event and event reason will be triggering automatically with the help of the business room. And because we have enabled that option, that is the Word document which we have seen that option from the provisioning, we will not be any manual entry of the event and event reason. It will be performed automatically with the help of the business rule. Sometimes the rule condition is mentioned correctly or not, or the testing is being done correctly or not, because we are not getting the desired result. These permutation and combination, we need to check when we get a requirement that action is performed but the event and event reason is not being getting triggered. For that, we need to analyze what is the rule. What was the requirement? Is the condition is mapped as per the rule or not? And how they are going for that? How they are going for testing that rule to get the results. All these things, we need to analyze it. These are something common as the support tickets we used to get during our year. We need to do that for the event time projects, for event and event reasons. Otherwise, commonly we will get some change. Request for creating the event reason. That is one thing. Business rule, everything is already set. If you are into implementation, then we need to set up the business rule according to the event reason that the customer will be providing when we are gathering the requirement during the initial phase of the implementation discussion. Here we come to the event reason and the event reason. And finally, do not forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel.